Hello, thank you for tuning in to another video. I'm B if you're new here. I'm a digital illustrator and the online shop owner of Smudge Toe Studios. I thought for this video I would have a calm and honest chat while we draw. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about as someone who's new to YouTube and selling their art. Now, side note, in all transparency, I'm not completely new in the sense that I have tried a channel and store before. If you've been one of the few to see my old videos and shop updates, you'll know that this isn't my first attempt. But I'm calling myself a newbie for all intents and purposes, and I'll get into more of that very soon. First, though, I want to say a little bit about what I'm drawing. This illustration is an idea that I've had for a week or two now. I wanted to make a sticker sheet with one cute theme and then make all of the subjects relate to the theme with the color palette. So this is an orange cream themed set. It includes an orange cream soda, an orange cream little goat, which is definitely my favorite part because I love drawing animals with food themes. And then I have a butterfly and a pretty little hand holding an orange. Then in the middle I have a bubble shape saying orange cream dream to tie everything in together. I love this sticker pack. I love the way it turned out. I'm very proud of it. And I hope to continue with similar themed sticker sheets in the future. So let me know what color schemes and themes you would like to see next. So back to my more so complicated artist journey, I'm gonna talk just a little bit about my backstory for a second and then jump to now. So in layman's terms, I started drawing digitally, I think starting in 2020, and in 2022, I started sharing my progress with the hopes of becoming an artist, YouTuber, and shop owner. And if I'm being completely honest, I have had this dream since I was 13, way before I started digital drawing, when I first started noticing digital art on Pinterest and watching artists' YouTube channels. And I'm self-taught, so YouTube was really my teacher and inspiration. Through all of these years, I've been trying and failing and learning, and I say failing as a positive thing. It's really hard. Failure is really hard and it's not fun, but it's really necessary, and I'm honestly proud of all of mine. I could make an entire video on the topic of failure, and I hope to in a future video, but I won't get into it in this video. I'm gonna leave that for a future topic. In 2022, after maybe 6 months or so of making beginner videos to learn editing and simple products to learn how to sell, instead of it taking off, I realized that I needed something steady, and I ended up just going back to work. Throughout these 3 years, I've been bouncing back and forth from YouTube and my shop to other jobs, and sometimes splitting my time 50-50, but other times I just fully put my art away to have time for other things. This brings us to 1 month ago when I started posting videos again. In this go around, so much has changed. I have improved my art and really started to be proud of the art that I was making. I learned and invested in better equipment and editing software and took a lot more time to learn editing. And I'm just so happy to have another chance to be here again and to start fresh, I think. There is so much more that I need to learn about YouTube, having an online store, and my own artwork, but I finally feel like I'm in a creative place that feels right, and it's a safe place for me to grow. Speaking about things feeling right, this is a segue into another topic that I wanted to talk about in this video, which is my Instagram. So back when I was just starting out with digital art, I was posting my work on Instagram, and really it was just a good way for me to track my progress and to get tips and encouragement from other artists and friends and family. and it was really helpful. For a long time, that was kind of my main purpose of having an Instagram, and I still remember those days fondly of getting a lot of help from other artists. I really appreciated it as a very beginner. But in recent months and years, things have gotten frustrating, to say the least. Not only has it felt like my follower count kept dropping even when I tried to keep up with the trends and posted reels every day, but also I knew that Instagram wasn't showing my work to most of my own followers. I know that view count isn't the most important thing, but when you put so much effort into your work and then it's not being seen, it was just a little discouraging. I know there's a lot of debate on the topic of Instagram, and many people say not to blame the algorithm and that you just got to keep up with the trends. And I don't know, that might be true. I'm not really here to necessarily hate on Instagram or dissect it. All I know is that for me, it was becoming a place of worry and concern over my views rather than enjoying sharing my art. This wasn't all the algorithm's fault. The other side to this was my obsession with the look and aesthetic of my page. It felt like I could never find the right look. For one problem, and this is kind of a side note, but I was unknowingly drawing with really saturated colors because of how my tablet showed light. So my page ended up looking just way too saturated, which wasn't the vibe I intended. I really posted saturated pieces for like a few years before I realized the problem. On my tablet, it looked normal to me, and then I would post and it would just be super saturated, and I got used to that. I didn't like it, but I got used to that look on my Instagram, so I didn't really question it until I was really trying to dial back my colors just in general with my own aesthetic that I was going for, and then I realized that everything still looked saturated. So yeah, my page just didn't look the way I wanted it to at all. I felt like it looked kind of juvenile and just not the right vibe. So after I got that figured out, I still felt like my page was filling up with colors that wasn't indicative to quote unquote a professional artist. And honestly, it really fueled my imposter syndrome. I just felt like my page didn't look professional. And none of this part, I understand, is the app's fault, but rather it was an indicator of my not so great mental state and the toll that it had on my art, and kind of the spirals I would get into over really just how my art looked on Instagram. Over the past couple of years, I would spend taking down posts, changing my brand colors, try to rebrand altogether, changing my shop logo, and don't get me started on how many times I've changed my profile pics. I know it must have been really annoying to my followers to never know what my profile picture would look like month to month. So all of this to say, it was definitely time for me to take a break. I stepped away from Instagram a couple of weeks ago now. I will say that I've had some withdrawals. I still had the urge to post on my feed and on my story, but it was definitely the right call. If and when I do return, I want it to be purely to share my art with people and feel confident in my skills regardless of what Instagram does. And I just don't want to be concerned with how my page looks and my view count and anything like that. So I think that I need this time to kind of just sit with my artwork and focus on just being the artist that I want to be and keep growing in my skills and just working on being confident and not needing any outside source to validate that, I think. For the time being, I'll be posting my work on Kara, Pinterest, and of course you're going to see a lot of the processes of what I make on YouTube. I'm really enjoying Kara so far. It's been so nice to have a place to post my art without any expectations, really, other than sharing it with other artists and art enthusiasts. So I really like that low stress, low stakes environment. I hope you enjoyed that little rant of my past and my backstory and why I'm where I am right now. Moving forward with my channel and my business, I'm just going to be jumping into the themes that I really love to draw and also the themes of videos that I really enjoy making. It took me a really long time to figure out what I liked, as I said previously. So now I feel like I can just enjoy the process, and I'm still going to be exploring and changing. But now I feel like I have a handle on what I really love to make and what I really love to share. So I'm very happy to, be where I am right now. As far as the artwork that you are going to see in the near future, I'm going to be drawing a lot more of the themes that I've grown to love, like fantasy and a lot of princesses, and then a lot of mixing themes together like this sticker sheet is. I'm going to be doing a lot of that stuff too, and just a lot of things that make me feel good. The direction of my art has always been to make people just simply feel good to look at it. It's not, I don't make a lot of deep art or art with deeper meanings or things like that. I don't do that too often. I really like the escapism that aesthetic art provides, just something sweet to look at and that kind of puts your brain in a happy place. That's kind of what I go for in my art. So you can count on seeing a lot of that. I also make a lot of art that looks like it belongs in a storybook. I'm trying to practice that more illustrative style to hopefully in the future go in some actual storybooks, whether it be writing my own. I have a children's book that I've been writing for a few years now. Well, it's been done for a few years, but I've written it, but I haven't edited the writing and I have hardly even gotten started on the illustration work. So I don't know about that, but whether it be writing my own book or illustrating another writer's children book, that is a huge goal of mine. So yeah, my art tends to be very storybook-like. And also if I never get to illustrate a children's book, that's still where my art leans towards. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm manifesting. Ooh, another side rant on my art is that I have battled with myself between different styles that I've loved to draw but felt like they didn't go with each other. So I would be set on like an 80's vibe, like very Stranger Things-esque, and I would do that for a while and be like, oh, I love the 80's vibe, and then I'd be like, wait, I love fantasy too. So I would completely shift to fantasy art, and I felt like they didn't have any overlap or correlation to each other. Like they were two extremely different themes. I realized that one of my favorite movies of all time is The Labyrinth. Like 80's fantasy is a genre that I've always enjoyed, and I don't know why I do that. Like I put things in boxes and I feel like they have to stay in their boxes, so I felt like I had to be a very specific kind of artist and make only one vibe of artwork, and I don't know. Let me know if you're the same way, if you do that. But yeah, I've always struggled with that in all of my styles. I just felt like I needed to lean towards one specific thing and I couldn't like bounce around. And if I liked two things that were very different, then I had to choose one. I don't know. But then I realized that my two favorite themes to draw were actually very similar and that I could just like put them together. And when I figured that out and when I started drawing fantasy art, like that was very 80s based, like with those 80s being like that, I don't know how to explain this. I want to say synth vibe, but that's a music style, but do you know what I mean? This chat session is going to very quickly be derailed because I no longer have a script in front of me. And so now I'm just talking about whatever comes up in my mind. Oh gosh. Okay. But as far as the costumes that I like to draw, it's like very like 80s inspired fantasy, those big huge princess hats I'm starting to love, and I've been putting them on most of my characters even when it's not a very like a formal fantasy setting. Like I'm just drawing regular girls with those huge princess hats and things like that, and I'm starting to like become obsessed with it. Anyways, I just think it's so funny how for the longest time I felt like I had to choose between two things that I loved, even if they were very different, by the way. It's completely okay to draw all the things you love. It doesn't have to, they don't have to be the same thing. I don't know. It really does have to do with my OCD. Once again, that's a topic for another video. I could go into that and I could talk about that for hours. But yeah, back to like 80s fantasy. I'm very inspired by movies like The Labyrinth, and I was gonna say Neverending Story, but I've never watched Neverending Story, and I'm glad I never did, and I never will, because I don't think I could take that heartbreak, even as an adult. Also, oh my gosh, can I just say, I've compared, once again, I've never seen The Neverending Story, but I know what happens to the horse, and that's all I need to know to not watch the movie. But I've compared The Labyrinth to Neverending Story in the way that Ludo almost dies in The Labyrinth. It's a similar situation with a body of water, or in this case, like, what is it called? The stink swamp, or the you know what I'm talking about. And he gets stuck and he almost dies, and we think he dies for a second and we're so heartbroken, but then he doesn't die. The Labyrinth didn't even go there, but with a horse, with a real horse in the Neverending Story. Do you know how much horses mean to most people? Like, we love Ludo, and I'm definitely glad that he didn't die. He's this monster that was created for the movie, but horses are a lot of people's favorite real animal. And the Neverending Story had the audacity to unalive this horse. How the Labyrinth didn't even go there, wouldn't even dare on a fictional being, but the Neverending Story carried it out with a real horse. I mean, not, you know what I mean, like in the movie. It just makes me so mad. Thank you to one of my favorite childhood movies, The Labyrinth, for not crossing the lines. So anyways, I love 80s fantasy. I just realized that I've gone most of this video without acknowledging Toast. Thank you, Toast, for being a paid actress in this video. She gets really clingy when I'm drawing, and I think it's so perfect because it makes it such a cozy draw with me video when she's included. Sometimes Smudge will lay down by my drawing tablet as well, but it's more so that he's like kind of staring at me ominously from afar, and Toast is a little bit more social. So yeah, I feel like you're gonna see her a lot during these draw with me sessions, which I feel like puts the perfect touch on these videos. It can be a little bit distracting. Like, I know she was literally rubbing against the tablet for some of the video, and I like had to take a break and I couldn't draw with her doing it, but I won't stop her. I don't know why. I just feel like she needs to do what she needs to do, you know? And I'll just draw around it. Also, at times she'll straight up just walk across the tablet and then just sit. And at that point, I'll just turn the camera off and patiently wait, of course, until she gets bored and moves a little bit, and then I'll continue drawing. What am I gonna do, you know? She's my creative director, and I respect her creative risks that she takes. It's all for the good of the videos. So thank you, Toast. Speaking about Toast, she's currently on my lap purring. Can you hear her? It's nearing the end of the video, so I think I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every view that I get on this video. I am a tiny little channel here in this corner of the internet, and I'm gonna be here for the foreseeable future making more chaotic videos. So if you guys enjoy this content, please like and subscribe, and you'll be able to watch this little channel grow. Also, stay tuned for this sticker sheet to be up on my shop. I have a link to my Etsy shop down below. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Me and Toast say bye.